Hi guys, welcome back. Today's lesson is called Too Young to Serve. And our sticky statement is God can use you, so do what you can do. To begin the lesson, I am going to need participation. In just a minute, I want everyone to say how old they are. Yes, even the adults that are watching. Pay attention. When I pause, simply say your age out loud. Are you ready? Have you ever wondered, what can I do to make a difference in the world? I'm only 27. One more time. Have you ever wondered, what can I do to make a difference in the world? Have you ever wanted to do something big, but were told you're too young? Well, here's the truth. Serving Jesus by serving someone else is not something you have to wait until you're older to do. We were made to serve, and there are many things we can do to serve others, no matter how old we are. Let's begin with a video about a girl who made a difference in her community.
Souls for Kids is an organization where people can donate new or gently used shoes to help homeless children. I am collecting new or gently used shoes for children in need. My name is Emily Inch and I am 11 years old. I wanted to first start helping children when I was in preschool.
Emily, as a little girl, was very independent and very passionate about helping others.
I always wanted to I gave my toys away, my clothing to people that needed it, and I'm still doing that today, and all the money that we get from it, we are donating it back to Souls for Kids. I came up with the idea because I know that in different occasions like summer or winter, it can get very warm or very cold, and I just want their feet to be protected. Basically, I did a lot of different research on how many kids go to Mecklenburg schools and didn't have shoes or anything and were homeless. Then it's a crazy amount, over 4,000 children. And then the kids that don't go to any school that are still homeless, that is a reasonably crazy amount of number that I just want to help. I applied for a grant for YSA for a $500 grant so I can start my project off. So the Youth Service America grant is to help kids know what to do in their community, to help out and really get out there. I won the Disney's Friends for Change Summer of Service $500 grant. When I won the prize, I felt very happy, excited, and accomplished. With the money, I cleared out 2 Walmarts with their shoe section, and I only bought shoes.
Emily's goal of 1,000 pairs of shoes at first, we thought it was a very ambitious goal. We weren't sure what the outcome was going to be because we'd never done anything like this before.
We raised 1,898 pairs of shoes. I was extremely happy and excited because I'm like, yay, double the kids will be able to get more shoes. The gently used shoes went to Crisis Assistance Ministry, and the new shoes went to A Child's Place in Charlotte.
My friend Emily asked me if I wanted to be part of it because I've been wanting to do something for the community, and I said sure, and I joined Souls for Kids. Abby became my partner because I know that she has always been wanting to help out in the community, just like I have, and I decided to ask her if she would like to help me in it. Some of our most surprising partners is Verizon Wireless and the Charlotte Checkers, and they were just so touched by our story that they decided to help us. I think that my age definitely helped because I think I want to help more kids get out there and start their own project at an early age and inspire more young kids.
Wow. Emily was just 11 years old. If you're 11 years old, raise your hand. Think about the impact Emily had on her community. Think about all of the children who got a pair of shoes. She served her community in a big way. To serve means to help, to assist, or to provide a need for someone. We were made to serve. Today's lesson is the final lesson of a 4-part series called Made to Serve, God Can Use You. Each of the lessons in this series has dealt with the topic of service. Today, you will see that regardless of your age, you can serve others, and when you serve others, you are serving God. Now, there might be some things like driving a car, using a power tool, or going somewhere alone that you will need to wait until you're older. But when it comes to serving, God can use you, so do what you can do. Today, we are going to talk about someone whom God said was an amazing servant. His name was Samuel. The account of his life is written in the Bible, and he was a real person. There are even 2 books of the Bible named after him. We can read about him in the book of 1 Samuel. When he was really young, he started helping out a priest named Eli, who served God in the tabernacle. The tabernacle was a place where the Jewish people came to worship God. It was sort of like going to church for us. Samuel was a boy who grew and learned many things. He learned them little by little. Just like you, no one starts out knowing how to do everything, do they? One night, Samuel was sleeping near the candlestick in the tabernacle. They didn't want the oil in it to run out. It was essential that the lamp stay lit. Eli the priest couldn't see well, and he may not have noticed when the light dimmed. So Samuel slept near the lamp to keep it lit. That's in 1 Samuel 3. During the night, Samuel heard his name called. He got up and ran to Eli. Eli told the boy he had not called him and that Samuel should go back to bed. Being obedient, he did what he was told. No sooner was he back in bed, Samuel heard his name again. He went to Eli a second time, but Eli had not called him then either. Kinda strange, huh? After Samuel was back in bed the second time, it happened again. Anyone want to guess what Samuel did? That's right, he ran to Eli for the 3rd time. No doubt, Eli was tired of being woken up in the middle of the night. By the time Samuel showed up the 3rd time, Eli finally realized that it was God who must be calling Samuel. He told Samuel if he heard his name again, he should do something very specific. Let's read what Eli told Samuel to do in 1 Samuel 3:8b through 9. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go, lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Eli told Samuel to tell God that he was listening. After Samuel was back in bed, God did call to him a 4th time. Being an obedient boy, he did what Eli told him to do. He told God that he was listening. God gave Samuel a really big message. From that point on, God used Samuel in some very important ways. Samuel started serving God when he was pretty young. His service started in the tabernacle, but he eventually helped choose and advise the kings of Israel. Samuel began to be a servant when he was just a young boy. It must have been pretty neat to serve in the place where a whole nation came to worship God. If you could serve somewhere, where do you think you would like to serve? You could have said you want to serve as a volunteer firefighter, stagehand on the set of the movie. Could have said anything. Have you thought about what it would be like to be able to serve Jesus? What if you had lived when he was on earth? What would you have done for him? Did you know that serving Jesus is still something we can do? I know you might be wondering, how can you do something for Jesus when you can't see him right now? Jesus taught about that in Matthew 25. He was talking to a crowd about the way he was served. Let's read verse 35 of Matthew 25. Matthew 25:35 reads, For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. What are some of the things Jesus said he was? Correct. Jesus said he was hungry, thirsty, and a stranger. If you had seen Jesus when he was hungry, thirsty, or without a place to stay, what would you have done? In the next verse, Jesus also talked about not having enough clothes, being sick or in prison, and having people serve him. The people listening were confused. They said they didn't do these things for Jesus. He told them something very interesting. Let's look at verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Jesus said, when we serve others, we are serving him. Wow. So if we want to serve Jesus, we need to start looking around for people that need to be helped. God can use you, so just do what you can do. You don't have to be an adult to serve others. Remember, when you serve others, you are serving Jesus. You know what it feels like when you are hungry, right? Isn't it great when you can dive into that sandwich in your lunch after hearing your tummy growl? If you care enough to look around, you might see someone who doesn't have enough in their lunch. Could you pack an extra cheese stick or snack to share with them? God can use you, so just do what you can do. You can share your lunch. For someone who is thirsty, could you show them where the water fountain is? Or get a cup and fill it with cold water for them? That sounds easy enough for anyone listening here today. God can use you, so just do what you can do. You can share a glass of water. When you do, the Bible says that it is just like doing it for Jesus. Every once in a while, we are in a place where we don't know everyone around us. That feels a little uncomfortable, doesn't it? When someone new comes to your school or to church, what kind of things could you do or say to make them feel welcome? God can use you, so just do what you can do. You can make someone feel welcome. Now let's share about some other ways we could serve others. As you hear these ideas, pick out one or two you would be willing to try. What are some things you can do? So service ideas in the church would be help clean up the church, a thank you note to a Sunday school teacher, help the church secretary, encouragement cards to a college student, invite a friend to church. Service ideas in your house: wash the car, rake leaves, family devotions, thank you notes to a parent, volunteer for chores. Service ideas in the community: park cleanup, Christmas caroling, shoebox ministry, collect food for a local food pantry, share your testimony, visit the shut-in ministry to senior center, parade float if you have that in your community. We have some really good ideas on how to serve others. God can use you, so just do what you can do. There are a lot of ways someone your age can serve. Will you serve someone today? If so, what will you do? Knowing that God wants you to serve people like you would serve him, will you choose to help those with needs, like hungry or thirsty people around you? Will you take the time to show them you care? If you choose to obey God and serve, take the time to ask Jesus who you should be caring for and what you can do to serve them. Will you do that right now? Remember, God can use you, so just do what you can do. Pick out one way you can serve this week. Review questions. What does it mean to serve? That's right, to help, to assist, or to provide a need for someone. What was the name of the young boy who served God with Eli the priest? Samuel. How many times did God call Samuel? 4. What was Samuel doing when God called him? Sleeping. True or false? The story of Samuel was just a made-up story. False. True or false? If you are just a kid, you are too young to serve others. False. Whom are you also serving when you do something to help another person? Jesus. What was one of the ways Jesus said you could serve? Give food, water, clothing, visits, etc. In what book of the Bible can the story of Samuel be found? A, the book of Matthew. B, the book of 1 Samuel. C, the book of Eli. D, the book of Hezekiah. B, the book of 1 Samuel. Finish the sticky statement. God can use you, so just do what you can do. All right, that is the end of today's lesson. I hope that you learned something and that you apply it to your lives. Remember that you can serve. Have a great, safe, and blessed week.